guest tonight is a Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter who has written hits for Macklemore, Rihanna, Beyonce, and just wrapped a festival tour with Eminem. Please welcome Skylar Grey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And congratulations coming off the successful tour with Eminem. Is Eminem one of those people who is like super like hardcore whenever we see him, but then he's just like a softie and a sweetheart in real life?
Kinda.
Yeah?
He's really fun.
I feel like Eminem's like in the booth and he's like, all the people in the double, and then he comes up and he's like, hi.
He's one of the funniest people I've ever met.
You always dreamed of working with Eminem, which is what I found amazing about your story is you talk about how you were first introduced to the idea of maybe like singing on an Eminem song when Stan came out.
Yeah, I heard that song when I was like 13, and it was kind of my first experience loving hip hop.
Right.
And then I deep down had this dream of wanting to work with rappers, even though I was a folk singer.
Right.
So it was a little odd, but then I ended up working with him, so.
How does that story begin? Let's go to the beginning. So you get into folk singing, and is this a family thing, or is this just the music you?
My mom and I had a folk duo, and I started performing with her when I was 6 years old, and then I went solo when I was 14. She wasn't too happy about that.
Mom, I am leaving you, but I still need you to drop me at all my gigs.
Exactly. And then I moved to LA when I was 17, got a record deal. Things fell apart, I went broke, and I left LA for a while, and I had a bad taste in my mouth about the music industry in general. And out in the woods in Oregon, I fell back in love with music, and decided I had to figure out a way to make a living at it, because I wasn't good at anything else.
Right.
I was a high school dropout, and all the jobs I tried, I sucked at. So I was like, music has to work. And so I reached out to my publisher, and I was like, how can we do this? And she had just signed a guy named Alex the Kid, a producer, and she connected us on email, and that's how Love the Way You Lie happened. It was like the first song after this soul-searching experience.
Now that you've worked in hip-hop, is that where you see your home now? Is that something that we could see as like a folk hip-hop new genre that comes to light?
No, I've had so much fun working in hip-hop and working with rappers, and I'll continue to do that,
right.
I think, forever. But I think what my forte is just sitting at a piano or a guitar and playing a great song. And so that's what I'm going to do with my solo stuff.
If you were to meet someone in your position who was starting out, and they say to you, hey, Skylar, this is what I want to do, these are my dreams, this is where I want to get to, how do you tell somebody the story and then tell them to like power through the failure part? Because how did you know that you would make it out on the other side? Because you might say to someone, just keep doing it.
For a minute, I thought I wasn't going to do music anymore, but it's in my blood, and I can't get away from it.
So what do you tell people? Do you go like, hey, you're going to fail a lot?
Yeah, you just have to be able to deal with rejection on the daily, and then once in a while, something great will happen.
I like that.
And that has to, keep you going through the rest of it.
It's like an inspirational but very realistic speech that you give to, you're going to fail, kid.
And also... Also, you just have to love what you do and not focus on the accolades and the success of a song. Focus on having a great time making the song.
Right.
And then you're going to be happy no matter what.
Do you think that was one of the issues with going out to LA? Because, as an artist, you go out to Los Angeles, and then because it's such an industry place, you can get stuck in that world of what does the industry think, what do people think of you as an artist, and then you go to Oregon, and you just, like you said, you're in the woods. So it's like the animals, they're just like, yeah, we don't listen to music. Is that what you're going to do now? Are you going to find a way to keep Oregon?
No, I was talking to myself in the woods. I was my only feedback. So I was my only opinion out there.
Because now I'm picturing you as like one of those Disney princesses who like sing to the animals, and then they like stick their heads out and like, hoo, 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 hoo. And then the animal's like, yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I think I definitely had some Snow White moments that, yeah.
Wait, so looking at your career now, because I mean, now you're just on the up. I mean, like to have Beyonce and Eminem singing your hooks and singing your songs that you've written to have so much success, do you now struggle with that balance between going back to a place like LA, or do you go like, no, I am an Oregon person, I am in the woods forever.
I live in Napa Valley now. I live with my fiance on an amazing ranch.
Oh.
Yeah.
So do you have animals?
Yeah, we have sheep.
The same ones from the woods?
Oh, There's lots of wild animals.
Oh, I thought you like brought them. You like, yo, you guys were here from the beginning, and I gotta take y'all with me. And then they all got in the car and was like, yeah, road trip. And you guys went out. That would have been like an amazing story.
Oh my God.
So what are you looking forward to now?
I'm looking forward to creating my own, sound and music for the world to hear.
Right.
Outside of the rapping collaboration.
You should get them to collaborate on yours. So now we need Eminem coming in and doing the hook on your album.
I have done that on some.
Oh, you have?
Stuff. Yeah, I have done that.
But singing?
On previous albums.
No, I'm saying Eminem should come and sing.
Oh, and I should rap?
Yeah. You should just like flip the genre.
That would be interesting.
I'm just saying, it would be mind-blowing. If Eminem comes in and then he's like, I walk on water.
I'll ask him about it.
You ask him, but don't tell him I said that. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm so excited. You want to stay tuned for a special performance right after the break. Skylar Grey, everybody.